So hello friends, today we have a problem which is a sequential digits 1291. So let's understand this problem and try to solve this problem. So basically we have an integer has a sequential digits if and only if the other digits in a number is one more than the previous digit. Okay, and we have to return them in a sorted order. What is the problem? Let's try to understand this problem. So basically, firstly, we have to understand what is a sequential digit. Okay. So let me open the notes. So the sequential digit is, so let's suppose we have a digit 1, 2, 3. So this digit is called as sequential digit. Why? Because the property said that if any number we take, let's suppose we take 2, so this one should be 1 greater than the previous number. So the previous number is 1, and the next number is 1 greater than 1, which is 2, and the next number is 3, which is 1 greater than 2, which is 3. But if we take something like 132, so this is not a sequential digit, right? Why? Because you can see that 3 is 2 greater than 1, so it doesn't follows the property of sequential digit. Okay, and the problem is basically we have given two boundaries. Let's suppose we have a boundary. Let me make screen more up. Great. So let's suppose we have a low as a boundary, right? Okay, and we have a high as another boundary, which is, let's suppose, 1000. Okay, and within these boundary, how many digits are present which follow this sequence? We have to list them out in an array and return them in sorted form. Like we have 100 and 300 as a boundary. So here we have 1 2 3 which follows this sequence, because you can see 2 is greater than 1 greater than 1 and 3 is 1 greater than 2. Similarly 2 3 4. And similarly for this boundary, which is 1000 to 13,000. Okay, let's try to understand this problem. So now you can see that we have a given low and we have a given high, and we have to find number of or all the digit which is present within that boundary that follows this sequential property. Great. Which is 1 2 3, 2 3 4, 3 4 5, 4 5 6, 5 6 7, 6 7 8, and 7 8 9, right? So these are all the digits, or all the digits we can find between 100 to 1000. If you see all these values closely, you can find that this one is starting from 1, this is starting from 2, this is starting from 3, and so on. What it means basically? Okay, so if I ask you a question that if there is a digit, right, which starts from 1, okay, so if there is a digit which starts from 1, then what is the maximum digit you can attain which follows that sequential properties? It means if you see this whole number, you can see that this is starting from 1, and every number, if you take any subsequence or if you any substring, right, so basically if you take any piece of digit within that big digit, everyone is satisfying the property of sequential digits, right? And if any number which starts from 2, then this is the maximum digit we can attain which follows the sequential digit. And similarly for 3 4 5 6 7 8 and 9. Not for 10 because that is not a sequential digit, because 1 0 is not following the property of sequential digit. Great. So what is the approach I'm going to use here is, what I do is I basically try to find out all those sequential digits from this to that, right? And I will check if any of the digit is within that boundary. We basically push that in array, otherwise we don't push it in array. Great. How we basically do that? So you can see this is starting from 1, and then we get 1 2, then we get 1 2 3, then we get 1 2 3 4, then we get 1 2 3 4 5, and similarly and so on. And here you can see 1 2 3 is basically a number which is within that boundary. That's why we basically push that in our answer array. But 1 2 3 4 is not, so we don't push it. Great. Now how we code it, we will think about it, and when we see the code part, everything is clear to you. But now let's talk about the time complexity. Great. So you can see that here the starting number is 1 and we do around 9 iterations. And here the starting number is 2 and we do around how many iterations? 8 iterations. Here we do how much iteration? 7. Here we do 6, 5, 4, 3, 2 and 1. So if you gather every iteration, so there are about 45 iterations, right? So the time complexity is big of 1. But in this problem, we have to return all those array in sorted form, and then we have to do sorting, which actually takes n log n time. Okay, now let's see the coding part. So what we do, we basically start from 1, right? And the number we have is 0, right? And how basically we are getting this 1, then 1 2, then 1 2 3. Let me describe this. So initially we have start is equal to the 1. Great. And my number is equal to the, number is equal to the 0. And when we do number multiply by 10 plus the start, so what you can see, the 0 into 10 is 0 plus start which is 1, so we get 1. And now we update our start with 2, and now my number is 1. And now we do the same process, which is 1 multiply by 10 plus start, and start is 2, which is basically 12. In that way we are getting every number. So we start from 1 and we go till 10, means 9. As you see that 10 is not a good that 10 is not a good number to start with. So we basically go till 9, from 1 to 9, and we generate this number by this function. And how we have this number, and if this number is within the boundary, we are going to push it in our array, right? And if that number, whatever the number at any instance of time, whatever the number we have, if it is greater than the high boundary, it means we don't have to check for the next numbers because that is also greater than high, so we don't take this. And the another one is, if our starting number, that we start from 1, then 2, then 3, then 4, then 5, then 6, in that case you can see that there is a 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9, so we have to go till 9. If it is greater than 9, we also have to return, and in that way we are getting the array. We sort this array and return this array. So let's submit this code, and yeah, it is accepting the code. I hope you like this whole video, you like this how we are actually try to code it and everything. Okay, if you like it, please subscribe to my channel, and if there is any doubt, feel free to ask the doubt also. Bye bye.